Hello and welcome back to On Point HQ. In the previous video I mentioned that recently I'd had a bit of a science fiction painting itch that I needed to scratch. I spent a lot of time painting historical figures and had a bit of a yearning recently to paint something more sci-fi related, something a bit more out there. So I picked up this. It's a box of Van Saar gangers from Necromunda by Games Workshop. I've mentioned several times that I played old school Necromunda back in the mid-90s. In fact, I even played its forerunner Confrontation back in about 1992, so I'm certainly showing my age there. But I've always had an interest in Necromunda, despite not playing the new edition, so I thought I would do a bit of a pint-sized review of this box and give my general opinions on it. First thing you will notice when you open the box is the sprues are absolutely jam-packed with all manner of bits and pieces. I can't actually show you as I've already built the miniatures, but take it from me, they come with many parts and accessories on. The box has two identical sprues, and while instructions are provided to help you build your gang of 10, there's plenty of scope to dig around with arms, heads, weapons, etc. Being the absolute gaming rebel that I am, I added a few swords from my bits boxes and created a whole new heavy weapon, as I didn't really like the one that comes with the box. Now, while there is scope for conversions and kitbashing and really personalising the miniatures, this is also a bit of a double-edged sword, as each figure is comprised of quite a few different pieces. If you're new to the hobby or making models in general, the sheer amount of parts could be quite intimidating. For example, to make a basic figure, you have head, torso, a neck section, two legs, a tubular piece of equipment and the cable that attaches to the back of each head. For the arms, depending on what configuration you've opted for, these can be in 1, 2 or up to 3 pieces, as many of the weapons are multi-part to allow you to build several different variants. Then you add separate shoulder guards, grenades and other bits of techie equipment, and each figure can be comprised of 15 or so pieces. Seasoned modelers and gamers will absolutely love the sheer amount of versatility with the box, but more novice hobbyists may struggle slightly. That said, the instructions are really good, well presented and very easy to follow, and I would definitely persevere, as the completed models are absolutely wonderful and really have that hard-fi, gritty cyberpunk feel to them. From a hobby perspective, the sculpts are crisp, very detailed, and I found there to be very minimal mould lines to tackle. The actual quality of the box all round is excellent, which is very typical of Games Workshop's kits in recent years in my experience. But these are a great reboot of the classic Van Saar figures from the 90s, and I couldn't wait to get some paint on them. Now, I opted to paint mine in a more muted industrial orangey brown than the traditional Van Saar green, but used a series of different greens on the weapons, shoulder and knee pads and masks to contrast with the orange scheme. Now, the box also comes with the new Necromunda bases. These are really good, really simple to paint and give your gangers excellent looking bases fit for the Underhive with very little work at all. Mine were done simply by applying a base coat of gunmetal grey and then adding washes of Nuln Oil, Reichland Flesh Shade and Agrax Earthshade. The last touch was to use Vallejo Orange Rust to add a subtle rust tint to the sharp edges. Now, I painted 5 in one sitting and will complete the rest this week to finish the whole gang. Now, overall, I really enjoyed building and painting the Van Saar box, and we'll be definitely picking up another box of Necromunda gangers soon. Now, while we don't actually play Necromunda at the moment, these figures could easily be used in other different game systems. A good example of this is Rogue Stars by Osprey, where you run small gangs of characters of often less than 5 figures. So this range would seamlessly fit into that background and other ranges as well. Now, I really don't do reviews, as opinions on box sets and figures in general can be very subjective, and everyone has their own personal opinion on the contents and the quality of each box. But I would certainly say that if, like me, you had have a sci-fi painting itch to scratch, these are certainly recommended. Well, thanks for watching, and as always, take care, may your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye for now.